Hey there folks, wanted to show you how I prepare leaves for my poison dart frog setups. I used to do this as well to put leaves on the bottom of other setups like white street frogs, crested geckos, or whatever I had. So here we have some water oak leaves. I'm getting rid of a wart. I got these from my sister's property that was outside the city, and she didn't use any kind of chemicals or fertilizers on her property, so I knew these leaves would be safe. I've got a huge bag in my storage unit, and I just have a little bit that I go and get at a time. So I've got a stock pot here that I bought just to only do leaves in. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill the stock pot up with how many leaves we want, and then pour in some water. So I bring them back to my apartment out of the bigger bag, and then I go through them and just sort all the leaves and get rid of all the stuff that shouldn't be in there. But occasionally I will have like little pieces and stuff like that, so just keep an eye on when you're filling the pot. Whenever I'm sorting the leaves and getting rid of the pine needles and everything like that, I still keep the stems and stuff like that, and I treat them along with it. I think that it provides an extra added naturalistic look to have that mixed in with your leaves sometimes. We got our pot filled up. We're going to go ahead and fill it up with water until the leaves are free floating. So you want to push them down in, make sure you got enough water. And you want to, since this is going to be boiling for quite a while, you should put in extra water. This is reverse osmosis water, by the way. It's Primo, and you pay $1.39 at first. You pay $1 for the jug, 39 cents for the 1 gallon of water, and then you keep taking the jugs back and you get gallons of water for 39 cents a piece. Maybe one day I'll get a reverse osmosis set up. We're going to turn this on high and put the lid on and wait for it to start boiling. It's been about 30 minutes or so. It's starting to boil now. Put the lid on, give it a stir, and check on it in about 30 minutes. That's where Alexa is helpful. Alexa, 30-minute timer.
30 minutes, starting now.
We'll just come back in 30 minutes and check. All right, so this has been boiling for, I'd say about 45 minutes or so. All right, so get you a leaf that has no cracks in it and whatnot. And whenever you can bend it in half and it's not breaking, it's ready to go in the oven, because you're really just rehydrating the leaves and getting them hot and whatnot. All right, so here I have 2 aluminum sheet pans. I bought the pot brand new and the sheet pans brand new. So I did invest a little money, and this is literally only to clean leaves. So I got this little strainer. This came from Dollar Tree. You scoop it up and let it drain. Give it a few little jostles, and then you put it over here on your sheet pan. Here we have our leaves on the sheet pan, and you just want to spread them out. You just want to have a thin layer. I actually had not enough leaves to fill both sheet pans, so we'll just make the layers even, and it won't take as long to dry. So I have the thermostat on the oven set at about 250 degrees. If you have a convection oven, it will help dry the leaves quicker, but I wouldn't suggest using it because of the leaves could get blown onto one of your elements in the bottom. I like to put the top rack up towards the top and the lower rack in the middle. So we are going to set a timer for 30 minutes. Alexa, 30-minute timer.
30 minutes, starting now.
And then we'll come back and check in on it in about 30 minutes. Alexa, stop. All right, so our 30-minute timer went off. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the top tray here. So at 250 degrees for about 30 minutes has dried them out pretty well. I still see a little bit of moisture. I'm just going to move it around. And we're also going to rotate the sheet pans. This one down here is probably more toasty. So we'll take this one, put it on top. And put this one on the bottom. And we will set another timer. Alexa, set timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, starting now.
And we just wait. Then another 30 minutes. This one still has some moisture in it. So what we're going to do is do another rotation. Alexa, 15-minute timer.
15 minutes, starting now.
So I'll come back and check on them in 15 minutes. Another 15 minutes did it. So I'd say about in total it was an hour and 15 minutes. It probably would have taken sooner, but when I was making my tortilla, that's why that's over there. I was making a tortilla and I think I bumped into the dial and pushed it down to 200. Anyways, so they're all dry. I'm going to let them cool off before I put them in a bucket to store. As you can see, I didn't get much of a yield. These are all the leaves that I had from my storage unit. I'll be getting some more. This should still last me a good little bit. This Petco bucket came with a lid. I recommend covering it so nothing gets in there on your leaves or anything. I don't wash these pans in detergent or anything like that. You just wet them down with water and just wipe them out. So I'm going to work on that. It's going to be a little bit loud, so I'll do that off camera. One of the things that I forgot to do, this really is only for people who want to make tadpole tea to raise tadpoles. You wait for it to cool off, and usually it gets cool before your leaves are done, but I forgot to do this. So now I have to fire the oven back up and dry these leaves again. Be sure to, once the pot cools, get all your leaves off the bottom if you're wanting to save your water to make tadpole tea. Here is my Dendroboard tinctorius azureus setup. It's a 40-gallon breeder that I flipped on its side. I was needing leaves earlier because I went to go refresh the leaves in there, because as you can see, the leaves are starting to turn brown and break down. So I'm just going to add some more leaves. Leaves are very beneficial to your microfauna. It gives them cover. So if you're going to have a vivarium like this, which is now really called a bioactive setup, then you are going to need to have leaves, and you're going to need them all the time because you're going to have to be refreshing them. There's a stem that I put in there, so I'll pull that off the bottom and stick it more on top. So you always want to make sure you're constantly refreshing the leaves inside your vivarium. So we have the vivarium topped up on leaves. Hopefully you found this video informational and helpful. It's good to go the extra steps so you make sure you don't have any hitchhikers in there. There is a microwave method. I don't suggest it. Some people just boil and some people bake, either or, but I highly suggest doing both. I boil them until they are limp and then I bake them crisp again. There's nothing coming in on these leaves. Later, folks.